What's up, YouTube? I'm gonna be doing my, I guess you should call it unorthodox Royal Paladin build.
That puts in work.
Yeah. So start it off. You have
No use.
Milis?
No use.
No use.
Something like that.
I don't know what. Honestly, I do not. I rarely ever use him. I only use him as a backup in case I don't pull off my turn 2 rush.
He's a 5k booster.
That turn 2 rush though, that's pretty great though.
Yep.
So for swag, gotta run different crits, and then just for the alt mile, 2 of the alt mile crits, so 6 crits total. And even more swag, so I gotta do 4 different heal triggers. And then here's actually a key part in the deck: the Seeker stand trigger. When it hits a Vanguard, when it's boosting, you can retire this card called a grade 1 from your deck. Considering how Royal Paladins now, they only call grade 2s.
Grade 2s.
So yeah, with this one I can call grade 1s, and if you remember some of my other decks, my older Royal Paladin deck, my grade 1 lineup is pretty silly. And then 2 of the Generation Break stands. They actually make a nice pressure, because if you pull off this, you can call it out, called the Generation Break stand trigger off the Seeker stand trigger, and with on call you can send it back to deck and give 2 units +3. So it's a nice power pressure if you think you might have game or not enough power or something,
or don't have other options or something.
Yeah. Well, actually, this deck should have options.
Later game.
Yeah.
Considering how quickly you run
it
through
is.
your deck.
It is so this deck is a Generation Break or Generation deck. So 4 of the Stride Fodder. And then this is actually a personal thing. I run the in the trial deck you have the grade 1 6Ks that become 11K when attacked.
It does make people sad early game.
And in my deck, I prefer the grade 2 rush down in this deck, so sometimes I call it out in the front row, and people attack it not knowing that skill. It's kind of funny, actually. And then, staple, of course.
Best card of that.
Xenon. I run 2 of him now, because there's other options now, so. And because I can just search out the Seeker stand, too, so it's pretty nice. And 2 different cards that have the same effect. They're both the same effect. When called from deck, Counterblast 1. Not Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. And draw a card. So it's basically a sword breaker for Royal Paladins.
And they have 2.
And they have 2. One of them's a promo. And then, yeah, this deck also is Counterblast heavy, so for the new Perfect Guards. It's not like you want to protect your rear guards in my deck anyway.
Yeah.
Considering how weak they are. So, this deck, War Conjurer of Mithril, when it's placed on rearguard once it's placed on Vanguard or rearguard, you can check the top card of your deck. If it's a grade 1 or 2, you can call it to the field. If not, you shuffle your deck. So it's really just a gamble of you getting a free rearguard or not. However, it is a 7K, so that is a drawback to him, but I can live with that 7K.
And it is mandatory.
It is mandatory skill, so you do have to check the top card of your deck. And if it is a grade 1 or 2, you have to call it. But if anything, you can call it. Yeah, it's not terrible. If anything, you can just call it over the Mithril itself.
Yep.
So it's not too bad of a thing. My only problem is keeping him in deck because they go out quick. And then 3 Starlight Violinists. This is actually my ideal ride. It's so funny though. This is my ideal ride, and then with this ride I go into Mithril, and with Mithril I probably get a booster or something.
Because ain't nobody needs Sword Muse.
Yeah, who needs Sword Muse? Nah. Sword Muse is a good card, but I prefer not running that build of this deck.
It's too meta.
But yeah, so yeah, when placed on Vanguard or Rearguard, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, and you can call a grade 2 from deck. And it does not actually require a Generation Break, so this is actually ideal for my turn 2 rush.
Early game rushes.
Yep. And then late game rush, the twin sword. Getting that call out when boosted. Yeah. It's pretty much used the same way in any other.
Pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Attack extension and stuff.
And then going to grade 3s here we have 4 alt miles. Usually I don't activate the skill because I use Counter Blast for all the other stuff. And loud chatter going on in the background.
Shut up.
My bad.
But yeah, it's a nice +5 to 2 units and when stuff, yeah. When you stride.
Extra power.
Yeah. So I run 3 of the common grade 3 in set G1.
Yeah.
Is it G1? Yeah. It's actually basically a twin sword when at Generation Break 1. And if not, on ride you can Soul Blast 1. It's pretty much half of an alt mile. So call 1. You can call up to 1 from your hand and give 1 unit 5,000. But it's only when you place this unit on Vanguard. Yeah, so this is also a nice backup in case I don't actually have the grade 2s. And then because my friend pulled one, why not? The promo grade 3. It was a box topper promo, I think, right?
Might have been.
Yeah, I think so. It's kind of the same effect as the common one, but it has to hit. And instead, the common one here, it's a Counter Blast Soul Blast effect when you attack Vanguard. This one here, it has to hit Vanguard, and it's only a Counter Blast. So if you actually can get on hit, it's pretty decent. But if not, it has an on-stride skill where you give your stride unit a 5,000 boost. So it can be pressure if your opponent doesn't have a perfect guard. Then going on to Generation Zone here, we have 1 Blizza, because Blizza is pretty nice, especially with the Persona stuff in here too.
Late game or just general?
Yeah, late
Power
game or
pressure.
general. You have the Giron for, even if you stack it with Alt Mile, that's 15,000 power given,
Should be. Yeah.
spread amongst your rear guards.
Pretty
So
good.
it's actually really good pressure, especially when you know how weak my columns are.
And if they're already at high damage by the time you go into that,
Yeah.
it just hurts you.
Oh,
more.
usually they're usually at high damage
Yeah.
too, because I run Samuel too. 2 Samuels, and with that turn 2 rush, usually I have a full field by then,
So,
with
Move
still
that.
pretty much a full hand too.
yeah.
So
That really quickly.
Samuel is pretty much my ideal first stride of the game. And then, just for added pressure with everything going on, we have the 4 Samuels.
Because crits suck.
Hey man, crits.
Yeah.
Hey,
that
this is
wins
better.
games.
Hey, at least you're not taking damage like Samuel.
Oh, you just get 2 damage because you don't have the perfect guard in hand.
Oh.
But,
Yeah. Yeah. So this is basically my deck profile.
I
I don't
should
know.
tell them.
Should I
Well,
tell them what? Grade 2 rush
Probably
stuff?
meant, well, if anything, you'd probably just say, since your rush down involves that behind Vanguard or
Yeah.
whatever, hitting, bringing this out, and then Superior riding into whatever your grade 2 is. So if you check a 2, you can keep attacking and
Yeah.
extend attacks and get hand advantage. So just a thing about his deck. So he spams field, swings really, really hard, activates that play, goes into his Xenon, and then tries for the grade 2 ride.
Yeah. Usually my grade 2 field looks like this, I believe, at the start of turn. If I can find all these cards in my deck. Well, maybe if I get the grade 1 or something. If I could probably get usually I get that off the Mithril. So usually it'll just be like this empty field right here. Use the violinist skill, call that. Pretty much get a booster for that. And then call a grade 1 for my hand and call this stand trigger for my hand. Yeah, that's usually how my plays work.
Even
field
better
works.
if he rides first because his opponent's going to be at 7 or 6.
Yeah,
which
because they're going to be at
means
grade
this
1.
is going to hurt a lot.
And then, yeah, like my friend over here just did. So if this column hits, retire the stand trigger, call the Xenon, which would be rested. And then if check grade 2, you would re-ride, and then you can attack again.
Free hand advantage.
Yeah.
And deck thinning.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's basically how my turn 2 rushdown works. I don't know, would there be anything else?
I don't know.
Really?
I think that's everything, really.
I don't know
Alright.
why I'm shuffling the deck right now if I'm going to explain more or
No.
not.
If anything, I think that should be it.
Yeah, I think that should be it.
Alright, well, see you
Alright,
guys in
see
the
you
next
guys.
video.